Here's what I'm going to say about 2019 as far as the gear I have. Uh, I purchase a lot of gear. I mean, I generally buy something maybe once a month. I know that sounds like a lot, but it isn't always something high dollar. Like I may get a small item for 20 bucks one month, and then the next month there'll be a $50 purchase. Then maybe another month there'll be a $100 or $200 purchase, and it just kind of alternates. So 2019, I'm just going to go over the top items that I purchased that I think I'm going to get the most use out of and that I enjoyed the best. I love Salomon's. I've been wearing Salomon's for God 14 years. So these are a real comfortable boot. I like them. They're lightweight, and that's the biggest thing. Comfort, lightweight, and they give me support. So these boots I got this year. I've been, wearing the winter, the Gore-Tex type, the X Ultra mids for like the last 3-4 years now, and these were inevitable for the summertime because when you're going to cross water, you don't want to be wearing Gore-Tex boots in the summertime. You want something that will be able to drain. So yeah, definitely the Salomon X Ultras Aero version. This is definitely one of the best pairs of boots that I've worn in the summertime hiking. Super lightweight, super comfortable. Thermarest. I'll be honest, you can't beat this. I've had this one. This is the Thermarest Neo Air Light, and this is actually the women's version, the irregular that I bought from Campmore probably, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, something like that, for $100. Best purchase I ever made because this is comfortable, this is lightweight. I mean, it weighs almost nothing. And like I said, it's the most comfortable sleeping pad that I've ever had. But on a good sale, I went and bought the Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm. And honestly, I wasn't originally going to buy it because I've been using this during the winter time as well, and it works just as good because it does have a heat sheet in it. However, the X-Therm has a higher R rating, and let's see, the R rating on this is 5.7. That is huge. I think the one on this, I don't know, it's like 2.5, something like that. But the R rating is so much better on this. Now, obviously, you can see a distinct difference in the size of these. This is actually a 6-footer, whereas this is like 5'10", something like that. This is actually my exact height, and a little bit narrower, where this is the full size. But it definitely has more baffling in here and a thicker heat sheet. However, on a trip to New Hampshire that we went on, I slept on this. I took this one, actually I took them both. I let the dog sleep on mine, and I tried this out for the first time. It was incredible. It got into the probably in the mid 40s, I think, at night in New Hampshire, up on the mountaintop where we're at, just outside of Mount Madison. And we were really on the trail, virtually, getting a lot of wind, and this was kicking so much heat from my body back into me. All I had was a lightweight Marmot 30 degree, I think it's the helium that I have, super lightweight down, sleeping bag. It was kicking so much heat back at me. It was incredible. I couldn't realize, like, this is an incredible sleeping mat. It's thrown so much heat back at me. It for sure. I mean, when you tell a rating of a sleeping bag and you say it's a 30, it's probably a 40, right? So at 40 degrees, it would be, I should be a little bit warm since it was in the mid 40s, not by much, but with this, it was perfect. I mean, literally, I was spot on as far as my comfort. So yeah, I would say the Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm is without a doubt the best sleeping mat that I bought for the winter time, and then the Thermarest Neo Air Light for the summertime. but for sure, this is one of the best purchases I made this year, and I think I paid about $125 for it. So it was about $25, $30 off from the MSRP. I think it was a sale for a Memorial Day sale or something like that. So I got it at a really good price. Well, 2019 was a fairly big year for me as far as buying audio-visual equipment. I figured I wanted to get those great outdoor shots that you can only get, those aerial shots from a drone. So I decided to pick up the drone and get a couple of batteries to go with it. Now, as you can see, I have another drone. Now, this is the DJI Spark. And the reason why I have two drones is kind of a funny story. Point being is, I went camping at Zaleski State Forest, took my dogs out, we were just going to do an overnight. I just got the drone, and if you're within the airport range, that's a no-go zone for flying the drone. The sensors in the GPS in the drone hit that no-go zone, and it automatically started to bring the drone down into tree line, and I'm trying to go through it and get it going. Anyway, long story, this got stuck in a tree for 2 weeks, 65 feet up in the air. Because it was in there, in the tree for so long, and the weather, the sun, and the rain had gotten to it, it did not work. It would start, but it wouldn't fly. So I thought, you know, I want to get it, I still want to have a drone. I still want to get those great drone shots while I'm backpacking. I figured probably what will happen is I'll end up parting this thing out or selling it on eBay, trying to get some of my money back. And I went with at the time, the cheaper drone, and that's the DJI Spark. This thing is super tiny. I mean, when you compare the two, I mean, literally you can hide this behind the other one. It's that much bigger, right? So I figure, well, you know, in the woodline, this will probably be better. It's super small. It can do some of the things that can do, but it can definitely get better shots because I can get it to where it's closer to me than I could with this, because this is so much of a bigger drone. So, and I've done some shooting with this drone with a Spark. Not as much as I like, and I'm going to do some upcoming videos. I took this with us to New Hampshire. Unfortunately, there's no drone footage in that video because the wind was so bad. Okay, well, my fourth and final purchase of this year that I think were my best purchases of 2019 is, without a doubt, the Canon Model 50. A lot of people use this, and I'll be honest, this is such a small camera, and it shoots 4K, which I may or may not use. I may shoot the higher frame rate in the 1080p, but it shoots the 4K even with a crop. You can add so much to it, like the Rode mic and the GorillaPod, that even with all of this together, this is still lighter than the camera I'm using right now. The camera, the extra batteries, the mic, the Rode mic that I have on that camera, much larger than the Rode mic that I have on this setup. Actually, let's weigh it out. So this weighs 2 pounds, 4.5 ounces. When I'm carrying 4 pounds in the other camera, the one I'm using now. So that is for sure like a 1.5 pound weight savings, and I carry it up on my chest. And then what I have to do is switch the tripod in and out with whether I'm using that Canon or the GoPro or my my Samsung, my Galaxy. So here we go. My favorite purchases for 2019. Without a doubt, it's very heavy in the visual component. For example, the DJI Spark for those great high-angle outdoor shots, the Canon M50 for the mid and low shots, for sure, these two things I'm going to be using a lot in 2020 to get those great videos. Without a doubt, to be able to get out, you got to have something on your feet. I know I'm not a barefoot hiker, and the Salomon Ultra X Arrows Model 3, that's the way to go. And you got to lay down on something, and for sure the Thermarest X-Therm is the way to go. So these are my top 4 purchases of 2019 that I think are without a doubt going to make 2020 a much better outdoor experience.